the great Carnival Inspiration, a ship that created many fond memories for my family. This trip was considered my high school graduation celebration. We left out of Tampa Bay, Florida around 4 p.m. on a Monday afternoon. Our crew consisted of my mom, dad, brothers Anthony and Joey, and my Aunt Teresa, Uncle Charles, and their 2 children, Jordan and Justin. Our voyage lasted 5 days, 3 days at sea and 2 at port. Our stops were Grand Cayman Island and the wild Cozumel, Mexico. Before we could make these stops, we needed to first board the amazing ship. My dad started the trip in his Hawaiian shirt, while my little brother Joey relaxed in his pajamas, and my crazy older brother Anthony started his first Bud Light of the trip. Sitting around the roulette table at the start of the trip really got my adrenaline pumping. I was extremely excited to finally be old enough to gamble. It was my first time, and I spent many hours at the slot machines. This was pretty much the only game I played because every other game was so serious that no one wanted a beginner at their table, no matter how cute I tried to look. Overall, I broke about even at my slot machines, until the last day, that is, when I watched my last coin disappear for good with the rest of them. After we explored the boat, we decided to head down to the main showroom to play a little bingo. This is where I enjoyed my first sip of the delicious mango daiquiri served on the ship. This is the drink I would always order when I got the chance. The main showroom is where we spent lots of our time together as a family. They held magic shows, comedy, singing, dancing, and good old karaoke. Aside from these, there was a special welcome show that was very entertaining. We also were able to meet the captain and staff members of the ship in this room. The casino and main showroom were only 2 of the many amazing rooms aboard this ship that my family enjoyed. For example, my mom and Aunt Teresa loved the blue piano room. This is particularly because they were able to listen to music more their style rather than in the rock and roll room or violin area. A man would play whatever song they would ask, and they would sit around him at a huge table painted just like a piano to sing along. The rest of us would join them occasionally to hear the songs we knew as well. I believe the man got a bit annoyed when we all overpowered him. Many other passengers joined us in this room on several occasions, and we all caused quite a commotion. We were well known as the Crazy Crew. The next evening was the night of the captain's dinner. Here, the captain and his crew would formally welcome us aboard the ship, the Carnival Inspiration. This would be the most formal dinner of our voyage. We put on our finest attire and prepared ourselves for the most delectable dinner on our stay. Our captain was a very small Italian man, whom we all found quite humorous. He always had a smile on his face and a joke in his mouth. The meal for that night consisted of only the finest lobster and crab cakes imaginable. While we all ate and enjoyed our meal, our waitresses danced around our tables, singing and entertaining the whole time. In my opinion, this was the best dinner night of the entire cruise, not for the lobster and crab cakes or outstanding entertainment, but for the dessert. This night, they served their special molten chocolate cake. The cake had hot chocolate inside with a moist, soft cake crust. They served delicious vanilla ice cream to offset the warm chocolate cake. It was the perfect meal to end the perfect first day at sea. The next morning was our first day at port. We were at Grand Cayman Island. The ocean was the most beautiful teal color I had ever seen. The perfect mix of blue and green and clear as air. Here we were signed up for a stingray excursion. I was very excited personally because my heart truly lies with the ocean. We boarded a smaller ship, a catamaran, called the Allura. The tour guides and photographer were very kind and easy to talk to. When we first arrived to the stingray sanctuary, I completely stopped breathing. The moment you got into the water, the animals swam straight to you. They swam so close, they brushed up against you with quite some force. The smooth, slimy feeling was not new to me or my siblings, but our parents were a hoot. They were extremely amazed by how friendly and comfortable the stingrays were with humans. The animals were amazing as they glided through the crystal clear water. It was truly fascinating. Though our first day at port in Grand Cayman was amazing, our next stop was even better. Cozumel, Mexico was just as wild for us as it is in all the movies. We started our day in the ocean snorkeling with lots of tropical fish and sea creatures. We even saw dolphins. After this, we all boarded the small boat, got our drinks, and turned up the jams. I began to feel quite relaxed when a song I knew came on the radio. I danced by myself for quite some time, but then I dragged my older brother out on the dance floor with me. We then had an audience and started picking people from the crowd. Just about everyone was dancing with us by the time we reached the beach, where we would continue dancing and entertaining for about an hour and a half. We boarded the small boat again to head back to land. Once we returned, my family and I headed straight for Senor Frog's. It is said to be the craziest place to go in Cozumel, and it was when we showed up. My aunt and I took the dance floor immediately, just in time for the electric slide. We all danced for another 6 or 7 hours. My little brother ran around giving everyone high fives, while my dad took over on the dance floor. We all agreed this was our best day on the cruise. The next day was our last day at sea before we would be returning to port at Tampa Bay. We all lounged around this day so we could regain our strength from all the dancing the day before. Before dinner this day, I went to the slot machines and lost the last of my money. A hard lesson of gambling. After dinner, my mom, aunt, little brother, and I decided to have a seat in the violin area and have one last drinks on our 2008 CrUiSe. I enjoyed my mango daiquiri, while my mom and aunt sipped on their favorite brand of wine. The four of us sat and talked about all our favorite memories of the previous days. We chatted about bingo, the amazing captain's dinner, swimming with stingrays, and our all-day party in Cozumel. We all came to the conclusion that this had been our most successful and enjoyable vacation ever. All of us being together and sharing in all the fun brought us even closer together than before. I thank everyone for making my graduation celebration so wonderful, as well as eventful. I will never forget the laughs and good times my family shared on this vacation, and I know none of them will either.
New Cupid, January 2nd, 2007. Time for a change. New Cupid, King of Swing Out, baby. January 2nd, 2007.